Welcome, citizen, to another Starcraft Nation broadcast. I'm your host, Venerati, and oh, it's so good to be back. I had a whole slew of issues, could not record, could not cast, I could hardly stream, but reformatted my rig, everything is good to go, and hopefully this all works out, because if it does, you'll be hearing all this. So either way, what do we have going on? I figured since it's been a while, I'm going to come back with something good. So here we go. Well, at least some high names. We've got SlayersBoxer going up against Mass. Mass, of course, will be spawning as the Red Zerg, and SlayersBoxer will be spawning as the Blue Terran. So we are going to have a ZVT, pretty high-level stuff, and we are going to be Metalopolis, so pretty epic map. I really do enjoy this map a lot. Lots of room to play, lots of room to macro, so definitely good stuff all around. So what do we have going on now? Well, we do have the Overlord of Mass coming over here into SlayersBoxer's base, kind of, letting, hey, I'm over here, and he can see what's going on, but unfortunately with the Overlords, of course, you do give away your own position. Meanwhile, SlayersBoxer dropping down the barracks on the front door, going to be walling off, which is going to be obviously very, very crucial, very important, not actually needing to, or neglecting to actually scout out super early just because he does know where Mass is. Of course, Mass could be throwing out some tricky stuff like a 6-pool or something crazy like that, but of course, that is not what is going on. It is actually going to be a fast expansion here as we see Mass taking his natural right there and has his Overlord looming around here in the corner. The unfortunate thing about throwing down these early hatcheries is a lot of you obviously will probably have fallen prey to it is the bunkers that come down, as you generally see a Terran player will throw an SCV down, throw a bunker, and the hatcheries can't see it. That's why Overlord placement obviously going to be playing a huge role in this kind of matchup right here. We do actually have a scouting SCV moving out here for SlayersBoxer, so SlayersBoxer is going to try to figure out what exactly is going on over there in Mass's base. Meanwhile, we do actually have the first Marine coming out of SlayersBoxer's barracks, and it is not going to be going after this Overlord in the main base. It looks like it's going to be following this SCV, and actually, SCV will be throwing down a bunker here, and Mass saw it with his Overlord coming into the area and was able to deploy his drone. Will it be able to kill this SCV? I do believe so. The SCV is actually abandoning the bunker there as we see 5 more drones coming out here to try to throw down some DPS on the bunker. It's going to be very important that the bunker doesn't go down, but actually they get to surround on the Marine and kill the Marine with their pincer claws. So that guy definitely did not have a good day. Wasn't even able to kill a single drone. So that bunker doesn't look like it will be actually coming to life. So we do actually have SlayersBoxer retreating back, and that early proxy bunker just really not going to be doing anything for him there. Not really setting him back either. The only thing that he lost, well, I say that, but I thought he was able to cancel that, but I'm not really sure what that loss have right there. We do have, obviously, the one Marine did go down. And the interesting thing about that, though, is that actually threw the income of Mass off for about half a second. So, overall, it really wasn't that big of a loss, if it was any at all. And now, SlayersBoxer's front door is actually wide open. I'm not really sure why he hasn't put it back up. We do actually have a scouting Zergling coming up here on the ramp, trying to poke around. Yes, it will actually get in the main base, so we'll see that we are, in fact, having a early command center coming from SlayersBoxer. Of course, the Zergling's life is going to be cut short here relatively soon. Yes, and that one Marine will be putting it down as it took one little claw mark in his boot. So right now, we have SlayersBoxer will be keeping himself in the macro game, looking to expand, seeing that his early pressure didn't really work. Kind of put a wrench in Mass's timing and everything like that. We do actually have a spine crawler coming down from Mass, so Mass expecting some more shenanigans, trying to protect himself against any sort of Hellion harassment or anything like that, but of course we're not having any of that from SlayersBoxer yet. We do actually have a Roach Warren down for Mass, so Mass looking to put down those tank roaches, so giving himself something to attack with. Doesn't really have much. We have 5 roaches on the way as of now, but he only has 3 Zerglings on the field at this moment, so really going to be just sticking to the macro, trying to get himself up and running. Though, with that said, we have 7 Marines on the field for SlayersBoxer. No massive army buildup just yet, but we do have this second command center sitting here in the main base, cranking out SCVs, also throwing down mules as well. If we can take a look at the income tab, with these mules deployed, let's see what they actually make a difference. Yes, they do make quite a bit of difference there, as is actually a harvester behind, and he is actually, you know, about 160, 200 ahead. So overall, that will make a difference in the long run. And right now we have, research-wise, coming out of SlayersBoxer, we have Stim Pack and Combat Shields, not choosing to get 2 reactors, but actually grabbing the 2 Tech Labs. So going to be making his Marines that much more effective. We don't actually have an engineering bay down, but we do have the command center flying out here, actually orbital command, excuse me, coming out here to the natural expansion. So it does look like SlayersBoxer will be expanding here, trying to take both of the utilize both of his command centers on 2 different mineral patches, not choosing to one base it right now. We do have a Baneling's Nest down for Mass, and it looks like Mass will be massing Banelings here, as he is also churning out roaches at this point. So at this point, Mass just really sitting with Roach Baneling. Not really sure how effective it's going to be with the tanks entering in the picture for SlayersBoxer. Now looking at the armies tab, Mass right now is ahead ever so slightly, and he is actually moving out. So we are going to see him going to be putting pressure on this natural expansion, it does look like. And we only have 2 tanks and 15 Marines on the fields for SlayersBoxer. SlayersBoxer is going to have a hard time dealing with this, especially since he has no bunkers up front to deal with this. Actually, we see him queue up 2 bunkers, so he will be looking to dig in, but I don't think it's going to be in time, because we have the roaches moving in here, and yes, they will actually be engaging these bunkers right here, so SlayersBoxer will be forced to cancel these if he doesn't. He gets that one, and that one goes down as well, so losing both of those bunkers right there. He picks up the command center, so not really having to worry about losing the orbital command, seeing as these roaches nor the Banelings can really do anything to air units. So SlayersBoxer really just dodging the overall effectiveness of that attack. Really kind of that attack kind of turned into a whiff right there. Mass not really putting any pressure on the main base though, as these tanks are going to be up here on top looking to throw down some pain. Not actually sieged up or anything of that nature. Looking not to be, these Banelings could be rushing towards the main door and knocking down these supply depots. But we do actually have the tank sieged up now. But SlayersBoxer looking to reoccupy the natural expansion. We have the roaches approaching one more time. Take a look at the army tab real quick, as Mass is still in the lead as far as army content goes. But we have Stim Marines and Marauders right here. I don't believe that this Roach Ball is going to be enough to deal with it. We actually have SlayersBoxer's forces engaging them right here, but we have the Banelings moving up here as we have SlayersBoxer actually focus firing now on those Banelings, making sure that they do not get in contact with them. Look at the APM right there, as we have both of our players sitting around 130 overall average, as we have SlayersBoxer sitting about 170 right there for that period of engagement. So those Banelings really didn't make that big of a difference here, as SlayersBoxer was able to make sure and throw DPS down on those Banelings and not let them get in contact with this Marine ball. Now losses overall, we seem to be neck and neck, but as we look at the army tab, Mass is still in the lead, though part of that will be the harvester count. Looks like this Overlord is about to be in trouble, as it is running for its life right there, and is just barely able to get over the hump. Now, right now, this army composition coming out of SlayersBoxer is going to be very difficult for Mass to deal with. As we see siege rounds going down on those Zerglings, as the Zerglings weren't able to actually get in contact. The Spinecrawler poking away at this bio ball, but it's not going to be enough, as these 3 or 4 tanks actually just doing too much DPS for these roaches, as the bio ball soaks up the damage, as we had this one tank only with 2 kills, 3 kills, and 4 kills. So the tank's really racking up the kills. We have some Mutalisks on the way up in the air. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though, as we only have 5 Mutalisks, and we have a lot of Marines on the ground. It does look like Mass will be losing this natural expansion, as we see the Broodlings coming out of here, ripping into that one Marine, as also that siege round. I think the siege round actually killed him. So, friendly fire inbound, as Mass is forced to go back to his natural expansion and this one ninja expansion, but SlayersBoxer obviously aware of that with that SCV there. So SlayersBoxer actually cutting off those long-distance drone miners, as the Mutalisks coming in here trying to snipe these tanks, as the tanks are really what causing all of the havoc for Mass. So Mass really cut down right now, as we have the splitting of the forces. SlayersBoxer moving his Marauders in here to take out this expansion, and Mass really not in a good position right now, as the only really the only thing that does damage for him right now are these Mutalisks, and these Mutalisks are quite outnumbered by these Marines. The Marines are just so good at taking down these Mutalisks money-wise. I mean, if you spend 1,000 minerals on Mutalisks and you spend 1,000 minerals on Marines, the Marines are just going to outdo the Mutalisks every single time, and that's the unfortunate effect right there as we see these three Marines engaging these Mutalisks here. Marines not able to knock them down, but they are able to do damage to these Mutalisks, and these Mutalisks are going to really... This is what's keeping Mass alive at this moment. That's what's keeping SlayersBoxer from charging in at this moment. Though I don't believe that this is really going to last much longer, seeing as we have quite a few Marines right there, almost a full plate of Marines, most of them not feeling so well, but we actually have Banelings coming down on the ramp, but the tank sieging up in time, throwing down the siege rounds on those Banelings, and none of the Banelings even coming in contact with that bio ball, and I believe that actually just sealed the deal for Mass, as SlayersBoxer actually GG's before Mass throws down the well played. So it was obvious that SlayersBoxer had Mass on the ropes right there, and these Queens weren't really going to do much at all. Take a look at the losses tab, as right before SlayersBoxer rolled up into Mass's base, it was neck and neck, but we saw that those tanks just absolutely annihilated those roaches and zerglings, and the bio ball just able to shield those tanks, and then we saw those expansions go down and all the drones and all the buildings that went with it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that matchup. It's a little warm-up matchup. I've got a lot of QXC on the way and just a whole bunch of everything. Going to try to get a lot of casting done. Please, let's hope all this works out. So guys, thank you so much for joining me, and as always, citizens, stay safe.